How's it going, Connectors? Welcome to another fresh episode of Staying Connected, where we seek stories that connect us with one another. There's just too much emphasis on differences that we forget that we're just one big community. We seek to learn about life lessons, experiences, setbacks, and vulnerabilities of one another. We're here to share through open and honest conversations. How's it going, guys? I'm Kenny.
And I'm Scott. Let's go ahead and jump into it.
Let's do it.
Today's topic is disagreements.
Ooh.
Not everybody's cup of tea, right? Usually everybody, would like to stay on the same side, but it's the healthy disagreements is where we can learn and grow the most. So for today, I have a couple articles and I have a couple tips and advice, and then we can share some of our tips and advice. And then we'll just comment on these articles. And I've actually used some of these tips and advice in my professional and personal life, and they work. So let's go ahead and jump into it.
Jump.
So this is an article from Harvard Business Review. The article name is How to Disagree with Someone More Powerful Than You. So your boss, manager, parents, whoever you think is more powerful than you. Okay, so here are the do's. Okay, so explain that you have a different opinion and ask if you can voice it. I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because sometimes you'll just say an opinion, and then for the other person hearing it, it's like left field. It's like, oh, where's this coming from? Instead of positioning yourself as someone, it's like, hey, could I have an opinion? Could I let you know? And can I get what you think about my opinion? So that way, like, oh, okay, Kenny just wants to hear, like, what's going on, So it comes off as non-threatening
and professional at the same time as well.
Yeah. Yes. I just want to hear your advice on this, or what do you think about this? Instead of like, hey, you suck. This could be done better. Any examples in your professional, personal life?
Yeah, I mean, for professional stuff, sometimes I like to share ideas with like my boss. Whenever we have these, weekly meetings, and I make that approach in a way where, like, basically just say, I like your idea. Is it possible to share minds? Possibly we could, figure out a better solution by combining our ideas together. So collaborating, which helps. And it's something that I've taken with me, that skill, that tip, in any relationship I build.
And a good leader will typically ask you for your opinion. But if they're not proactive like that, I feel like when you give your opinion, it almost becomes like, especially if the boss has an ego,
micromanage.
It becomes like, did I ask for your opinion? Or like that, this is out of your pay grade, That's why I found too, like, hey, can I have a little bit of your time? I wanted to get your opinion on something. And sometimes they're like, oh, yes, email me that, because I'm on the go, instead of saying your opinion and then like kind of putting them on the spot. You don't ever want to do that to your superior. Give them time to let it marinate and think about the solution, or whatever it is most convenient for them. I recommend going ahead and doing that instead of Now, if you want to play the hardball game, like, this is my opinion, change it right now, what's the chances of you getting that request? Almost zero.
Yeah. So, and a great leader always finds opportunities for their team to grow, and this is just one of the opportunities that we can take as a team member.
And they'll create that culture for you to openly express your opinions, because a good leader wants you to poke holes in whatever they do. A good leader wants you to see, okay, what am I missing? because a leader or a person can only see so far, right? They can only see so much. But if a person from the outside looks in and looks at it, oh, hey, you missed this, which makes the the idea or the project or whatever even better.
Yeah.
If it's only positive things happen instead of negative things.
Cool.
Right. I'm gonna do a do and a don't. So this is a don't. And assume that disagreeing is going to damage your relationship or career. The consequences are often less dramatic than we think.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah. Assuming as well. Assuming that you're not gonna grow from that.
Yeah, it's kind of like you know how you're trying to go for a pay negotiation, and you have the
With
mindset
everybody.
of like, yeah, like, oh, that my coworker is so much better than me, or like, or just thinking, oh, my boss isn't gonna give me this because of so and so reason. Having that negative mindset of, if I do this, my boss is gonna think less of me, or if I do this, then no good is gonna come out of it.
You just have to have your reasoning. It's like
Exactly.
it's like in a debate, you have your point that you want to make, but you need support to back that up. So it's I think we had a conversation about this too, like, negotiating and all of that stuff. So yeah, never assume it's gonna go that way because of, just don't think too negative about it. You have nothing to lose.
It's definitely a little more tactical because you don't always want to voice your opinion or ask for something. Then now your opinion or your request becomes less value. It's kind of like me asking Kenny, hey, can I get a pay raise every single week? Not only is it irritating, am I only wasting his time? It's like I'm bringing nothing to the table when I'm doing that.
Exactly.
But let's say I wait a little bit and I develop my portfolio. I bring value to the team. I show him and the team that, hey, I'm doing this. So I got something to back me up. Now my argument becomes so much stronger. So there's a caveat in knowing when to say it versus not even thinking about saying it or asking for it.
Yep. So whether you're, in the process of trying to get a pay raise or anything, you got to have your supporting key points to help back you up in anything.
Yeah, it's like the more you contribute and the more you do, the more confident you get, because now when you ask yourself, hey, what did I bring to the table? Oh, I did A, I did B, I did C, now that your confidence goes, okay, if the boss asks me, what did you do? I have this whole list of things that I can give to him or her. I have ammo now.
Yep.
Put in the time and be strategic about it. Cool. All right, going back to the do, restate the original point of view or decision so it's clear you understand it. So making sure both parties understand what you want to do.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, you really have to connect back to what you originally stated at first, and just to help everybody understand, including yourself, to understand what you are shooting for in any negotiation or conversation you have.
That's also a very good question of to ask yourself, what do you want? What is the main objective? Because I remember a time when I was trying to get more. I was at a gym and I was trying to get more equipment, not only for myself but for the other trainers. So I asked myself that question of like, okay, what do I really want? Is it just a nice fancy piece of equipment that I find use like once in a while, or do I want a versatile piece of equipment that we can use every single day? Not only will help the coaches, but also the customers. It will enhance their experience. And then through that questioning scheme, I kept asking myself, okay, why do we need that? What is it going to do for us? So in a way, I was putting myself in the shoes of my boss instead of just the employee. And then when it came time to ask my boss for that piece of equipment, I made it very clear that, hey, we need this because it's going to drive revenue. It's going to make coaches happy. It's going to make the customer happy. You can do so many different things with it. It's just going to enhance the overall experience. So, that's why we need this. So you notice I kind of state what is it we need, why is it we need it,
this.
And then like what is it again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's become my formula in case I ever need to ask a superior anything. Now, what is it? Why do we need it? What is it going to do? How is it going to do it? And then what is it again? Can I sum it up? Do you have a method?
Similar with me. I mean, as a designer myself, working for a media company, I would have to ask for these software programs that I feel would help benefit the company, and having your reasoning, starting off with for me, I like to, state what I want and then have 2 to 3 supporting details. It's like writing a paper. Supporting points that would back up that that goal you want to reach. So like, for example, I wanted this software program to design, and it was kind of like pretty expensive. And basically what I just, listed down was why the company needs this and how everybody else is using it and how innovative we can be with using the software for future projects and that we work on. So from there, I reconnected back to the goal after I stated the points, and just ended it off with like a clincher just to draw them back in. And
what was your clincher?
Basically to say, we're designing the future for other people to share their story, and with this software, it's gonna help us do that.
Are you still using it?
Yes, I am.
Money well spent.
Yeah. And I really love I put it to good use, and the company definitely sees the benefit of it.
Could you disclose what it is, or is it a secret?
Oh, I mean, it's like a whole suite of like video production software, design software, like Adobe stuff, but on a more advanced level.
Premiere?
More than that.
More Premiere? Wow.
Yeah.
I thought that was top notch.
That's just one of the elements, but there's like a whole bunch of other software that comes with it as well.
Oh, Kenny, I do need a new logo for my blog.
See, we have that as well. Yeah.
Keep this on down low. But serious though, I'll text you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anybody listening out there, have your structure when it comes to making these negotiations. Starting off with your goal and your why, and then having your supporting details, and then closing it off with a clincher, bringing them back to the core of why you want something.
Mm-hmm. You're not trying to convince yourself. You're trying to convince the person that makes the decisions.
It's the art of persuasion.
Yeah. Yes. One quick note is like, if you can make your idea if you can convince the person that you're trying to convince that it's their idea, that they're making the change, you're gonna have a very successful career. Like even though it's your idea, if you make it think that that's their idea, that they came up with that, that is a high level executive move right there. So very, very hard to do. Very hard to do.
It is.
Like think about it. If someone let's say for example, what's a good one? Let's go back to the software. If you manage to convince your boss that, you know what, if I implement this, if I get software for all my employees, they're gonna raise their level of work, they're gonna raise their level of efficiency, and then when it's my time to get evaluated from my boss, your boss, I'm gonna look really good. And then like if the boss interviews or surveys my employees, I'm gonna look really good at work, good as well. So let's implement that. And then you convince him that his idea, 100% you're gonna get that.
Exactly.
It's a very thin line to being manipulative, but it's not.
It's a little, but not.
It's a little strategic move. A little bit. Okay. All right. Oh, this one. Okay. This one you might be 50-50. Okay, this is a don't. So state your opinions as facts. Simply express your point of view and be open to dialogue. Okay. So you shouldn't try to make everything like a fact statement. Keep it open-ended. I have thoughts about that, but I want to hear what you think. And you feel free to disagree.
Yeah, I kind of like nodded when I said like state your like facts, and it was just like, I don't agree with that because.
Oh, why? Yeah, why?
Yeah, I mean, you can be talking out of your ass pretty much, and like, yeah, it's kind of wishy-washy in a way.
If you keep it open-ended instead of talking about facts.
Open-ended meaning not like to the point.
Like keeping it very abstract. Like for example.
Oh no.
It's instead of I want to say, what's a good word for it? Okay, let's take let's take hiring another person. It's like saying it's like going back to my tip about getting your boss to think it's their idea and making them implement it. It's like saying like, oh, hiring another person will do this, and this, instead of telling your boss, what do you think about hiring another person to increase so and so? What do you think about that? So keeping it like kind of open-ended and letting them.
So in the end, there's more questions being kind of thrown into that situation when it, it's kind of like going to be to be continued. ... Like,
I think the answer is it depends, but in this scenario,
yeah,
it's all about letting because we're talking about superiors, right? It's about letting your superiors answer the question. Because especially if your boss or manager has an ego, and let's say you state facts, right? And they're like, okay, prove it. Show me the facts. Show me the numbers. And then it's gonna become like clashing, because if it's your superior, they're most likely gonna have more experience than you, right? And they've been around the field. It's like, how does Kenny know that? He hasn't been around like I have. I've done this. I've done it for 20 plus years. What does he know? It kind of becomes that. It's how I see this problem.
Yeah.
Instead of if I just ask them, hey, what do you think about this? And maybe we combined it. Combine the facts and a little open dialogue.
Possibly that could be a solution. Some facts, but
yeah,
not going overboard with it.
Do you go 100% facts? What's your ratio?
No, I would mix it a bit. Yeah.
More
'Cause
facts than
I would do, well, let's say if, yeah, half facts and then half open-ended.
yes, because you
Yeah.
like you said you don't want to just
Yeah.
make up some BS because they're gonna call you on that for
They
sure.
will, especially if that person or if your boss is like highly knowledgeable on whatever you're trying to state. They will pin you down.
And especially with negotiation too, you typically don't want to be the person talking too much. You want to be the person asking questions to get more information.
Listening and asking questions.
Yes, and you want to have that person come to their own conclusion that you pushed. Right? Oh, you know what? Maybe hiring another person will help us. You know, I've seen around the office where like, I know Kenny, you've been picking up a lot of projects. Maybe another person could help you with that. Or like Jenna here, you know, I seen her running around and it seems like she's staying after work. You know, maybe another person could help pick up the slack. You know, I think you know what? I think I want to make that decision. Let's hire another person. You know, I'll start putting it. So you know how
It makes it, yeah.
Yeah, your boss starts getting into you feed your boss a little bit, and then like he starts coming up with his own conclusions, and it's more likely that it's gonna happen. So the answer will always be it depends, but it's always good to mix and match. You know.
Let us know what you guys think. Yeah.
Yes.
We're also dealing with the situation as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe it depends on different industries, you know, or different personalities. But you know, this is how I think of it. Like rice is good, but rice with meat is even better. So, meat is good, but rice with meat is even better. So,
hungry now.
Yeah.
Or hungry again.
Right. Okay. Oh, I don't know about this one. Okay. This is a do. And again, this is from Harvard Business Review. Yeah, do. Okay. Speak slowly. Talking in an even tone calms you and the other person down. Yeah, as long as you don't yell.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's different personalities.
I think for this one, you gotta match that person.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like a handshake. If they give you a firm handshake, you give one right back. If they give you fish them right back.
Assertive.
Because I've had some bosses where they're really eccentric and they're really like outgoing, and I just talk in a calm voice. You know, I think that will
find balance in some way. Yeah, that's where your strategy comes. Like,
I think you just have to adapt to your boss.
Yeah,
you know, adapt to your boss, and yeah, I think that's an easy one. Yeah, adapt to your boss. You know,
I mean,
either calm.
If your boss is very, you know, extroverted and expressive, I think it's you kind of have to pick up the energy a little bit more.
So the best way is to practice.
Oh yeah.
Like find some friends that are like different spectrums. Find someone who's really calm and has a soft-spoken voice versus someone who's like really energetic and hands. You use your hands and a lot of body language. So it's good to
and see how you adapt to them, and that's a great way to practice. Even virtually do it.
Yeah, why not? If they're a friend, they'll do it for you, right? Yeah. Let's go into the last don't. Use judgment words such as hasty, foolish, wrong that might upset or incite your counterpart. Another easy one. No, you don't ever want to make your superior sound dumb.
Yep. Or never offensive terms. Yeah.
The way I think of it is like if you ask your boss for a pay raise and they're like, Scott, it's just, I don't think you're ready for this. And you're like, no, you're wrong. You know, how's that going to affect you? Yeah, how's that going to affect you in the future? No, instead like, oh, okay, could you tell me, how I could improve? So the next time we do this, I'll show you that I'm ready because I'm willing to work for it. And say, no,
That is
that's
the way
stupid.
to go.
I've been working here. It's like, this is what I've done. This is dumb.
Yeah.
You're wrong. You don't know the value I bring to this
If
company.
you're watching, yeah, that's the don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've had in the past, I've had coworkers, come up to me and just share what they were gonna say to our boss, like when it comes to getting paid or a pay raise and all that. And yeah, I've had quite a mixture of people that would be like, but then, at first I was kind of surprised, like, they're coming up to me and trusting me that to tell me that they were gonna ask for a pay raise pretty much. But yeah, some were like the don't. They had a very, aggressive personality, and if they wanted it this way, they wanted it that way. No matter what, they wanted it. But others were like super quiet and just like not very assertive into what they want, especially like these pay raises. If you're asking for a pay raise, be assertive and
yes, because then like you don't want to be like, hey,
cause a fire.
Yeah, and then like your boss says, no, I don't think you're ready, and you don't want to be, oh, okay, and that's it. No,
that's it. You just walk out of that room with
regardless if you got the pay raise or not. Whenever you walk out of that room, you need to have learned something or take away something.
Of course.
The next time you go in, you will probably increase your chances just from working on those points that you've asked. What can I improve upon? Where do you see where are some areas I can do better at? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? And from what you see. Because if you do what they say, it's like, okay, I can't get mad at that, because you literally told me to get better at that.
Yeah. I think because we're on the topic of pay raises, one interesting tip I'd like to share is, say you're working for a company for a couple months already, close to a year. You definitely want to set up these performance reviews. I would be, as someone who would want a pay raise, I personally would be the one reaching out to my boss, asking for that performance review. Because then they'll know, like they'll realize like, this person, kind of wants to know how they can improve and what they can offer pretty much. So be the person to reach out rather than your boss reaching out to you.
I feel like whenever if you do that, it sends a message of like, I'm not scared of that performance review because I know the work that I put on. I know all the stuff that I've done for this company. Because you know sometimes a lot of people they dread the performance review because they haven't done jack. They've been slacking, and that's why they're afraid of it.
Yeah,
because their boss is gonna call them out versus someone who's proactive, looking for that because they know they've done stuff for the company and they know they have the ammo to back it up.
Yep, they will get surprised too. Yeah, but you just gotta make that effort.
I feel like we started with just disagreements and now it's turned into like a pay.
I know. Today's topic is about pay raises.
No, because I'll tie it in because
it is.
Whenever you ask for something, there's going to be a lot of disagreements. Or why do you think that? Or I don't think that's right. Can you show me or something like that? They'll have some rebuttals for sure. They'll have some rebuttals for sure.
Yeah, it's a mixture of topics, persuasion.
Yeah, whenever it comes to topics of debates and such, there's always going to be conflict, right? Because whenever you're asking for something, that means that you don't like the current situation. I wouldn't say that you wouldn't like, but there needs to be some change. And wherever there's some change, there's some conflict. That means something is wrong. And that's that. If I was a boss, that's how I would take it. Okay, because if everything is still operating just as it is, status quo, why do we need to change? right?
Pretty much.
So that's how your boss will see it, and that's why there will be some conflict. And the way you say things or interpret things, and the way they say interpret things will either have you clash against each other and have that conflict, or it will synergize and it will allow you to go to the next level, or it will allow it to see it will allow your boss to see, okay, this is what's going on. This is what this employee is doing or wants to get better at. So that's the tie-in. I know we're talking a lot about bosses and pay raises, but there will be a lot of disagreement, because if you think about it, running a company, you're on a very tight budget, and asking for a pay raise is a big thing, because now, okay, the budget is thrown into a loop. Now you have to account for another variable.
That's another part too. You just have to understand the current financial situation of the company and just everything that's happening. We got a pandemic going on as well, so
for sure. Let's talk about some of our tips. Some of the tips that's worked for us, and I can start. The first one is super simple: just be respectful.
Yep.
That they gave you their time. They didn't have to meet with you. Just be nice and just be, thank you for sharing that with me. Even if you did get the pay raise, and even if you didn't, always be respectful, because remember, you're still going to be working with this company. Or if you do move industries and you apply for another position, they're going to call the company, right? They're going to ask for a referral. And these, especially work for big businesses, these CEOs or these managers, they're going to talk to one another. Oh, how was Kenny? Like, oh yeah, he's outstanding. He worked super hard. Like, you'll be lucky to have him. Versus like, oh, how about Scott? Oh, it's lazy. Like, I always have to reach out, always ask him to do things, never proactive, So always be respectful, because manners do go a very long way.
Yep. And anything you do, any person you talk to, manners. I would say, don't be afraid to say that you don't know something, because then, we're not all expert at everything. So it's okay to admit that you don't know something. So for example, your boss is, we're going back to the whole boss situation and all that. So whenever your boss asks you to do a certain project, to work on a certain project, and you're unfamiliar with just everything that's being dealt with that whole project, don't be afraid to say you don't know, because eventually you're going to be put in that situation if you say yes, and you're just gonna.
So you lied, right? Oh, you said you knew how. I thought you knew how.
So don't be afraid to say you don't know.
What if you say you don't know, and then your boss tells you, I thought you're supposed to know that already? What's your response to that?
I would say I am familiar with it, but I need more training on it. And right now is not I don't feel as confident to, fully perform at my fullest capability of doing it yet. I just need more training. So could you help me train? Could you train me?
Oh, that is a good leeway. In order for me to put out the best product for our customer, for this company, here are some resources that I've researched to help me get to that proficiency. With your help. What do you think about that? I'll keep it open-ended.
Yeah. And you get to spend time with your boss.
Yes.
Or whoever.
Yes. Yeah. And then you show your boss that you could do it. It's like, okay, next time there's a bigger project, who am I going to think of? Oh, Kenny. Because he steps up. Even though he doesn't know it, he'll get it done. I'll pick Kenny for this more important, bigger project.
Yep. So that's how it goes.
Humbleness. Let's share one more each. So another one for my dad's work for disagreement is sometimes just walking away. sometimes you don't have to be married to your point of view. Let's say you're having a debate with someone, and you can tell the emotions are escalating. You can tell that they're adamant with their perspective and point of view, and they don't want to let that go. And you know that if you continue, this is going to negatively affect your relationship, whether this is personal or professional. And in my personal life, I've had some friends that were, they had some political point of views, and we were just talking, and then like I can sense that they're getting angry. I felt the emotions because now, because politics is mostly about, and don't slam me for this, but this, in my opinion, is mostly about identity, right? You go towards a political side because, of the values and the identity that you wanna, that reflects you. So I could tell they're getting mad, and instead of just, keep on bickering and trying to get this person fired up, I was like, you know what? You're probably right. You might be right. And then, yeah, that was the end of it. And then to de-escalate, because is it worth getting into an argument for no reason? No. Just walk away and like, you know what? You're probably right. Feed their ego, and then nobody loses.
Yeah. Okay. I guess one of mine would probably be listening. Listening is key. I mean, it sounds generic, but listening is key. I remember when I was part of a debate team back in college. I don't know if you were as well.
No, I wish.
But yeah, that kind of opened me up to listening to other opinions, including my own team members. And when you start to listen to both sides, you start to develop other ideas that you probably didn't plan on sharing in that debate till after you heard so and so speak. So it's kind of like putting a puzzle together, but then putting a new puzzle together after that, and just combining both sides and trying to find a way to support your own your case. So it's, I don't know I forgot what we debated on, but it was I think it was it was about like Valentine's Day. It was related to Valentine's Day and whether or not we should celebrate it or not.
What was your perspective?
Well, it wasn't my perspective. It was like I was chosen to be on the side that was against Valentine's Day.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, some of the key points that I stated was, financially, it is a very expensive day that, money can be used somewhere else. Love is not measured by money. Love is measured by time, effort, communication, and I forgot what other things we mentioned and all that, but listening to the other side's opinions, and yeah, the other side was actually for Valentine's Day. So putting it all together, we just tried to strategize ways to make our side, I guess, win that particular debate. So yeah, listening is key in any conversation, communication situation you're in. We're communicating everywhere we go.
So did you guys win, or what was the?
We won that case, but we didn't win like the overall. Yeah, unfortunately, I forgot. Yeah.
So. We should have something like that next time with the guys. It'd be interesting to talk about that.
Yeah. So, oh man. Yeah, for anybody in college or just wants to debate. yeah, it's a great thing to take on and to experience, because then everybody has their opinions, and it's a great way to practice your communication skills.
Yeah, you can always learn from other people's opinion.
Yes.
Then again, you need to filter
Yes.
all of the opinions, because
Mhm.
a lot of times it's just a lot of garbage. But
Yeah.
but you get to practice to be respectful. You know what? You're probably right. and add that. You're probably
Just
right.
nod your head. Just nod your head. Just nod
Yeah,
your
you're
head.
probably right. Yeah.
These are
You may be
nonverbals.
right.
You may. Yeah.
You're on to something. Really neutral statements.
Yeah, like.
Who really knows? Who really knows? I see.
Yeah, write this down. It's
That's interesting.
yeah. Let me make a note of that.
I like that. Man, that's some good tips. We might need to revisit
We
this
might
topic.
have to go to a lecture or something.
How to disagree.
Go
No, you're
debate
wrong.
class.
Yeah, disagreement's bad. You know what? I'll make a mental note of it. Oh, goodness. Okay. Okay, let's finish with some reflection of the week, some thoughts, some quotes, etc., etc. What do you got?
Mine is, I think recently I've been just pretty busy with different projects, and my sleep has been affected, unfortunately.
Still look handsome.
So it's the filter, and drinking water. So yeah, my recommendation for everybody out there is to get at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep. I was reading an article on what is it? Men's health, and they were just, I don't know if it's true or not, but I have a list of sleep positions that kind of reflect on how your personality is, and they stated like 7 of them. I'm just gonna go over like a couple of them. How do you sleep? Let me see if I can.
I'm a back sleeper.
Okay, well, we're the same then.
With my feet elevated for better.
Interesting.
Flow.
Oh.
No, that just because if you lie flat, there's gonna be that the way your spine is positioned. There's that little curve, right, and it's elevated. If your feet are up in the air a little bit, your spine is nice and straight.
So do you, in addition to sleeping on your back, do you sleep with your hands up or down?
It's down. And again, my hands are elevated because I'm
okay.
A lot of elevating going on.
Yeah, because I sleep with my hands up like that, like a
prisoner.
They call it the starfish, but then with the hands down, it's called the soldier. So for anybody that sleeps like a soldier, sleeps like the soldier, back is flat, hands down. They're generally quiet and reserved, and they don't like to make a big deal out of things, and they set very high standards for themselves and others.
Sounds like those zodiac things. I'm like, oh yeah, if you're a Gemini,
yeah. So
you're adventurous. really
so I could be, yeah. I don't know. It was just interesting that I stumbled upon this article.
Wait, what are you?
Yeah. So I'm a starfish. Starfish sleepers are described as great listeners and good friends.
Yeah, sure.
They're always willing to offer help and generally don't like being in the limelight. Then again, there's other people that sleep like me, so you have your opinions and let us know if it's true or not, or if it relates to you and if it's spot on. I just thought it was, a little bit interesting to kind of like, determine how your personality is depending on how you sleep. So,
There's a really good podcast episode on sleeping. It's from a sleep scientist. His name is Matthew Walker. He was on Joe Rogan. If you have some time, or if you're just cleaning the house, I recommend that. Matthew Walker, Joe Rogan. It's a sleep scientist. I think you'll get some very good nuggets out of that if you're interested in sleep.
Oh, so don't forget, sleep. Get some sleep, at least 6 to 8 hours, which I need.
I need more. Okay, okay, for
you,
my tip of the week, goes hand in hand with all the stuff that's been happening. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, like I mentioned in the last episode. But a good thought that I had is, everything will pass. Is the kind of mindset that I've had so far. Even though times are tough and sometimes I'm struggling, sometimes I'm down with whatever, whomever, those tough times will pass. And even though it sucks in the moment, I need to have mental fortitude and discipline to not let everything that I built up go to waste. So for example, let's say I'm feeling really, really bad and junk, right? And I don't work out for like, let's say a couple days. I shouldn't do that because now I've let one thing that's most likely temporary affect me in the long term. Even though it sucks, I need to suck it up and just get in the gym and just show up. Because a lot of times when you're feeling that way, the best thing you can do is just show up and do the work. Just show up and do the work. It doesn't have to be phenomenal work. Just show up and do what you can. Because in that moment, you probably won't feel like doing anything, but you need to do something. You need to stick with your positive habits and routines. Because once this thing passes, which it will, no matter how long it takes, it will pass because everything will pass. Then you're going to look back and be like, oh, that wasn't a big deal after all. Like going through a breakup. Yeah, the first couple of months going to suck, but you need to reinvent yourself, start picking up things. And then when you look back, it's like, oh, okay, I'm glad I did that because now I have this because I started all my habits and routines, right? So,
like a storm. Storm will pass.
It will pass, but it's just in the moment you can't see it. It's really good to reflect on that. Every time I have a tough situation, it's okay. Like when I was getting my tooth pulled out, I felt every yank and every chip. Like in 3 weeks,
the pain is gonna go away.
Oh, it did not go away for me.
Oh man.
Cool. Yeah, another fun episode on disagreement.
Disagreements. So if you disagreed with whatever we were talking about today,
we'll take a mental note of that.
Feel free to comment and share, and we will get back to you. But if you agree and you like it, be sure to like and subscribe to us because we appreciate all your support and just staying connected with us, whether it's through YouTube or on social media. We're on every platform and we are also on Spotify. So be sure to catch us on the road, anywhere you go. And again, thank you for tuning into another great episode. And we hope to see you again next week for another exciting topic. And yeah, till then, take care, stay healthy, and peace out.
Take care.